Welcome back to High Guard TV, the YouTube channel that is playing in the background while Drykos is getting it freaky with his coach. I'm your host, High Guard Sensei, and I'm here with
Wolfgang.
And you know, in the world of MMA, there are a lot of people that fans don't like, people like me don't like.
People like me really despise.
And we are hoping and praying for their downfall in the year 2025. So this video is going to be our list of downfalls we are praying for in the UFC in the year 2025. But before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Make sure you share with your friends and comment below whatever your thoughts are. And now let's get to the video. So on the first of our list is a criminal whose criminal offense was recently committed, and that is the man by the name of Mr. Aiman Zahabi.
Aiman Zahabi is a piece of shit. Like, look, this nigga is, I don't even know why I hate him so much. I just know that watching him sneak that win over Jose Aldo, especially because it happened in Canada and the judges were Canadian and he won via crowd chanting. That is what tells me that yes, this is a criminal of the sport where he's on a 3-5 win streak right now, and he called out Chito Vera. Thankfully, Chito Vera has pulled out against another criminal of the sport. We'll get to that later. So Chito Vera is actually free to put the hurts on this man, and I am hoping and praying for him to get knocked spark out and left in the middle of the ring like that 6-year-old prospect he is.
Okay, up next we have another criminal of the sport, a serial decision machine. The man who also, his crime was committed against the legendary Jose Aldo. That is Mr. Mario Bautista.
Mario Bautista needs to be put in a stockade and we throw rotting tomatoes at him. Or, no, you know what, forget all that. Let's get those tattoos on his arm, battle-born. Let's get those painfully lasered off, because that nigga is not battle-borning anything. He's here to lie down on you.
Let me tell you something, ba. I became a fan of Cory Sandhagen for one reason and one reason only. Cory Sandhagen finished off the very criminal Al-Qaeda member of MMA, Mario Bautista. That is what made me start loving Cory Sandhagen. Just for that, just because Cory Sandhagen did this to Mario Bautista, I will always be a fan of Mr. Cory Sandhagen.
Unfortunately, his comeuppance against Chito Vera was prolonged because Chito Vera pulled out with an injury. However, the UFC brought in Patchy Mix to fuck that nigga up, and I'm ready.
So let's go. If Patchy Mix can destroy Mr. Mario Bautista, he needs a title shot immediately.
We need this.
In my opinion.
We need this.
Anyway, up next we have another serial decision machine.
Lay and pray.
A big criminal in the sport. Somebody that should be jailed and never see the light of day.
Never see the light of day.
I'm talking about Mr. Movsar Evloev. Somebody that nobody wants to see fight for a title.
Look, I am hoping that for UFC 321, whichever UFC is taking place in September, UFC Noche, I'm hoping that the UFC makes Alexander Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez. I do not need to see that nigga named Movsar Evloev anywhere the title shot, anywhere near the title. When the UFC security guards kept him away from congratulating Volkanovski, it was the happiest moment of my life, because we don't need to see that criminal touching hands with Alexander the Great.
Honestly speaking, but when he said that, I was like, yeah, it sounds about right. You know, we need to keep trash outside.
Keep trash outside.
People out there. But let's just look at it. Movsar Evloev is the main reason. He's one of the reasons that I was vying for that. If your hand is on the canvas, but it doesn't count because he did that against Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen, because Brendan Allen need him and damaged him.
You mean Arnold Allen?
Arnold Allen. That's
Brendan Allen is the shit kicker at middleweight.
Yeah, who is calling that shot?
No, he's going to fight Marvin Vittori. That's blockhead v blockhead energy. We like this.
I'm rooting for Marvin Vittori, but you know, that's a very, very nice segue anyway, Sha. But like, Movsar Evloev is just unlikable. I don't like the dude. I don't like anything about him. I don't like what he represents. He looks like a very lost individual in my opinion. So
and he's done a lot of questionable
things outside the UFC, but it is what it is. You know, let's just hope and pray he gets knocked out violently and he never sees a
fight. Aaron Pico, you pull out machine. This guy had the nerve to say Ilia Topuria was ducking him. That's why I moved up to 145.
He pulled out in the fight against Ilia Topuria.
You pulled out in 2022. You. Yes, you pulled out in 2022. But all of a sudden, Ilia is ducking now that he wants to fight Makachev.
Honestly speaking, but look, Movsar Evloev should just be. I hope they just do him the way they did Magomed Ankalaev. Just cut him, let him just go in. I don't want to see him ever again. Removed. But that's Movsar Evloev. Up next, we have another criminal of the sport in the same weight class as Movsar Evloev, and his name is Mr. Lerone Murphy.
Lerone Murphy is a man who has claimed that he's from Jamaica, but also calls us racist for saying that, he's not British.
But anyway, that's all I can say is that I don't like to involve myself in outside politics. I like to talk about things that were done in the cage. Lerone Murphy in the cage is a serial decision machine.
He's the featherweight Leon Edwards.
This dude had that absolute stinker against Mr. Josh Emmett. And said everybody wanted him to go and fight a power puncher like Josh Emmett. Bro, Josh Emmett has like 3 knockouts in what? How many years, bro?
Josh Emmett, he's hard, but it's really not hard to dodge.
It's not that hard to get out of the way.
He has power, but dexterity, shot selection, he's really easy to avoid.
And then Lerone Murphy just went, tapped him, touched him, very intimate. See, I don't like some certain kind of things in a sport. When you are trying to be very intimate with men, I don't think tapping them, just touching them, tap, that's not something that, we want to see in the cage. So, Mr. Lerone Murphy, we're hoping you get knocked the spark out very soon. We are rooting against you. Let's go, whoever you fight next. Up next, we have another person that is very unlikable, a very unlikable trust fund baby, a spoiled brat that is crying his way in the UFC, and someone that we hope they continue shafting forever. That's Mr. Arman Tsarukyan.
Arman Tsarukyan, bro, he's so amazing. You guys, he beat all Verdi. He beat. Shut up!
He got gifted a decision against Oliveira.
Shut up! Look, the very fact that Arman Tsarukyan he's not fighting for the title should tell you all you need to know about the kind of individual he is. This man got his one shot, and he pulled out after trying to sexually assault Nina Drama.
After trying to fill up Nina Drama. Very lost individual.
Very lost.
Speedy kind of behavior.
I don't like Buddy. I don't trust Buddy.
And I don't like the way he looks. He looks weird. So,
I don't like what he's about.
Yeah, let's keep Arman Tsarukyan and keep him shafted forever and ever. Praise Jesus in the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. Up next, we have someone, his downfall has come, but it has to go lower.
I need it to.
We need him buried under the floor. And that's Mr. Leon Edwards.
Now, I know Leon is one in his last 3. Yes. Has his downfall started? Yes. Did he get choked out in front of his hometown fans in England? Yes.
Did he have this embarrassing moment against Mr. Bilal Mohammed?
Never forget you, Bilal. Yes.
But, I feel like with the fact that he robbed the welterweight division from the greatest welterweight of all time, Mr. Kamaru Usman, I think he needs to sink lower.
Yeah, it's not
he needs to go
enough.
On a Tony Ferguson type
decline.
Tony Ferguson type of skid.
So I nominate Michael Morales
to finish off the job. Or Mr. Ian Gary, one of the two.
Or Carlos Prates.
Or Carlos Prates, he's coming off a loss. He can get that one.
I think he'll think it's easy. Prates just lost. Obviously, I can take it.
He's got the skills. You talk about
when I fought in Ghana, I took him down easily. And then he gets clipped with a right hand, with a left hand straight down the pipe, and everything just goes blank from his eyes.
But anyway, that's who we are hoping to get the job on. Up next, we have Mr. Torres Finny.
Khamzat Chimaev, I am begging you, get this fight with Torres Finny and beat him the fuck up. I like how Khamzat Chimaev has been moving in the UFC. I am praying for his upturn in the UFC because he has been going around and knocking out serial criminals of the sport, and I need him to go and do the same to a Torres Finny. Torres Finny is the only guy that Dana White made fight 3 times in the Dana White Contender Series because he was giving everybody an opportunity to get this man out of his fucking sport. And now they put this guy in a fight. He went. You didn't watch this thing.
The dude is he thinks everything is wrestling.
I'm not doing that.
And he's built like Machop.
Fucking Geo dude looking motherfucker. Yeah, big. He
How do you look big and tiny at the same time?
So out of place, honestly speaking. Like
This guy looks like
we don't need to see this guy. Look, we don't need to see this
but
dude.
also looks like a featherweight at the same time.
Look, see, I have nothing against him, but I just don't want to see you fight, bro. Like,
Bro,
I hope you get dogs back out, and that's just
if you're going to be doing this bullshit, please just go and go back to collegiate wrestling or something. I don't know what this is.
Yeah. So
As
up
long
next,
as do it for me.
So up next, we have Mr. Bo Nickal. Now, I know Bo Nickal was embarrassed. I know he quit. I know, he took the easy way out in the last fight.
Yeah.
But, he went on podcast again and said some shit again. So now that he has gone back to reinforce his old ways, I am praying. I'm hoping and praying he gets run into another knee and he takes a plea deal and he gets out of that cage.
Who do you think will be best for the job? What do you think? Kyle Bohayo?
Kyle Bohayo can get it done, but Bo Nickal is not. He won't get if he beats Bo Nickal. That won't get him a title.
Yeah,
shot.
he won't get me a title shot. He just beats Bo Nickal.
I would have liked to put him against Khamzat or Dricus, but
No, because he keeps talking all that shit. Like, I rarely ever support Dricus to place in anything. But I remember this guy. Dricus said, you know what? This guy has not even done anything UFC. Be here for all but 4 years, and he has been talking about how he's the best since he's so great that he can wrestle Khamzat. Do you even know what it is you're doing?
Okay,
I think he would lose to Sean Brady.
Okay.
If he came down to welterweight, I'm very sure he would lose to Sean Brady. So I don't know where he gets this whole confidence. Like,
I think Bo Nickal will lose to Kevin Holland. That's how low I think of Bo Nickal. I think he lose to Kevin Holland.
see it.
I think he will lose to Kevin Holland. But anyway, it is what it is. Up next, we have a bit of a controversial one. Khamzat Chimaev. So, Mr. I pull out of every single fight. Mr. I have fought twice in the last 3 years. Nobody wants to see you as champ, bro. Nobody. I don't want to see you as champ.
He's going to jam up the division in the wrong way.
I am praying for your downfall. I hope Dricus. I'm hearing Looney Tune noises, and I hope Dricus can land a very big looping shot on you.
Let's
and
get
then
Dricus.
And then you go on Bambi legs. You're dancing, skibidi bop bop bop, and then
Come on, Dricus.
Look, I have never. This dude was hot water. This dude was hot back in 2022. But ever since then, with him pulling out crypto scams, taking questionable pictures like this, I don't know what even happened to Buddy. Buddy needs to get checked out. And we're not even sure if he will show up in Chicago in August. So
he may not show up.
He may not show up. So
I wouldn't be surprised if.
But if he manages to show up, I am hoping Dricus knocks his spark out, and we never hear from Mr. Khamzat Chimaev ever.
Or I hope Dricus chokes him out.
I'm telling you, that would be funny.
God, that would be even funnier.
But anyway, up next we have Big Ank, Mr. Ankalaev.
We all like Ankalaev.
We like Ankalaev, but the problem is not Ankalaev. The problem is a certain very lost individual.
Very dildo-headed
individual. That is my problem, Mr. Ankalaev. Anybody associated with this individual, I refuse to support. So just because Mr. Ali Abdelaziz is involved with Mr. Ankalaev, I am hoping and praying Alex Pereira can get the run back and get the knockout. But other than that, I don't really have an issue with Mr. Ankalaev.
I think it's cool.
But it's just Mr. You know what his name is, Mr. I can't fly anywhere because I was involved in certain activities. That's the person I really have issues with.
Activities are September 2001.
But anyway, it is what it is. Up next we have, and finally we have the number one. The one I'm sure everyone can unanimously agree with, Mr. Johnny Ducking Jones.
Look, John, we loved you in 2011. We loved you in 2013, 14, 15. We stood by you and we supported you. Why didn't you just fucking retire in November after beating Stipe?
You
drop the belt, take off your gloves, off into the sunset.
Say, look, you can't do this no more, or balls up and call Thomas Aspinall out. But I don't think he can do it because
he's literally been Conor McGregor to Michael Chandler right now. Like, that is exactly what's happening.
He's trying to waste these dudes.
He's wasting Tom Aspinall's prime
Somebody
years.
that took no damage in his last fight.
Took no damage in his last year. Almost a year he hasn't fought.
And it's disgusting, Jon Jones' behavior.
Honestly, I'm not a fan of bringing lawsuits into like the cage and the ring. But like, honestly, if it was me, I'd assume Jon Jones and the UFC. Or I would have filed a lawsuit to get him in the cage or get that belt out of his way so that I can fight Cyril, I can fight Alto. Like they have
They are
no
heavyweights.
championship heavyweight fights has been
Jon
booked.
Jones is killing the heavyweight division. Literally. Jon Jones is single-handedly killing the heavyweight division. And it's not that the heavyweight division is boring. It's just ever since he came and took that belt, it's just been weird. So we need to get him out of this sport and get him out of our lives. We don't want to see Jon Jones.
Shout out, honorable mention, shout out to Sirogan. I hope you get knocked out in your next fight, bro. Like, I don't know why you keep going to make movies instead of training. You have clear holes in your game. You can't grapple. Your striking is more flashy than it is effective. Like, you are an empty-headed
When I saw
fuck. Please,
Volkov-
I'm begging
When
you.
I saw Volkov versus Siriga,
Like that backhand, that's Volkov hitting
Tom
with.
Aspinall, like that was Tom Aspinall, bro, is going to sleep.
Like Tomasi are going to wash this
And
guy.
he always goes for the leg lock. I don't
Like,
understand that.
you
He's
are
obsessed
terrible at this.
With leg
Stop
locks.
doing
He did
it.
it against Francis. He did it against Volkov. Like, please, it only worked once. Please stop it.
Stop doing this.
But anyway-
Stop doing this.
Anyway, that's the video. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of you that disagree with these takes, but it's our take nonetheless. We have a right to our opinion. If you want to disagree, the comment sections are available.
Yeah.
Be nice, but not too nice, but be nice though. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more of our content. And also don't forget to keep your hands up.
And protect yourself at all times.